The time is now 8:59. Here we are rolling into the 9 o'clock hour. Thanks for joining us here at Bay News 9. I'm meteorologist Brian McClure. The strongest of winds are going to arrive with the front tomorrow night into Saturday morning. You see the coloration there, the yellows, the oranges, and the reds. You can definitely see them showing up right along the leading edge of that cold front. There it is, right in there. Okay, so notice the time frame. Tomorrow night, Friday, 11 p.m., there's your strong winds showing up on the back side of that front coming through the area. And then it looks like it's going to actually stay pretty breezy through the day on Saturday before the winds come down going into Sunday. So for tonight, lows generally in the 60s inland, low 70s near the coast. No impact from the front yet. But tomorrow night, front's on its way. We'll talk more about that coming up in less than 10 minutes. All right, time now 9:09. Another weather update for you on this Thursday evening. We've been advertising the cold front all week long. I think everybody's pretty excited about it, unless you just absolutely hate cooler weather. Then in that case, maybe you shouldn't be living in Florida. Maybe we should be moving even farther south. But either way, don't worry. It's not going to be a really, really cold front. I mean, let's face it. We're not in December and January, but it is going to be a blast of cooler autumn air. The low pressure area out here east of the Bahamas, it looks a little better today compared to yesterday, but it's still just a big swirl. It doesn't appear to be developing into a tropical system. It has a very small window anyways, only about 24 hours. Whether it develops or not, it's not coming towards us. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Had a few sprinkles down to our south, nothing in our local area, just too dry of an atmosphere. Look at that, Indian Rocks Beach sunset tonight. Thanks to Donald for saying that in our Bay News 9 Plus app. Really appreciate everybody that sends in pictures on our app. They come right in here to our weather center. If you don't know how to do it, basically you download our app, Bay News 9 Plus, and there's a submit button at the bottom of the app. That's it. You fill out the information one time, and you never have to fill it out again, and all you have to do is just submit pictures. And again, they come right here into our weather center. It's a really simple, easy way to send them in. There's your northerly breeze out there tonight. It's not that strong, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, a little stronger near the coast. That's about it. Temperatures mainly in the 70s, but look at this, already down to 68 Inverness and Brooksville. Still 80 though in St. Pete. Just goes to show you that influx of that or the impact of that warm water temperature that it has on the air temperature. There's your front. Will not arrive during the day tomorrow. It won't arrive until tomorrow night. There might be a sprinkler shower along the front, but the chances are going to be really, really small of that because there just isn't a lot of moisture with it. So mostly clear, comfortable tonight, not much going on, 60s for lows inland and more like low 70s near the coast. Tomorrow, again, maybe a stray sprinkler shower, but that's not really the main storyline. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs low to mid 80s, so maybe a degree or two lower, cooler. The main impact behind the front will be felt Saturday morning. So you really won't notice too much tomorrow. Tomorrow night, yeah, sure, it'll get a bit breezier, but again, biggest impact on Saturday. And we'll talk more about that coming up in your 7-day forecast at 9:19. Well, the past couple of days, we've been seeing fantastic boating conditions with just a nice little northerly breeze, and it's been picking up at times, but in general, it's been great. As we head into your Friday, the winds will start out fantastic from the north-northwest at about 10 knots in the morning, so no problems for the morning, but the winds will pick up as the day progresses so that by late in the day, they'll be from the northwest at 15 knots. And by the way, they're going to go even higher and stronger by Friday night. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're doing any boating, first half of the day, great. Second half of the day, kind of getting breezy. And by Friday night, get off the open waters because a cold front's on the way and probably going to get a small craft advisory for Friday night into Saturday morning. So seas generally around 2 feet in the morning, 3 to 4 feet by late in the day. Light chop in the morning on the bay and the waters, moderate chop by later in the day. And your low tide's going to be right at about 1:30 early afternoon. We've been talking about this broad area of low pressure. It is not a tropical low. However, it is trying to kind of spin up. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. Even if this does somehow in the next 24 hours develop characteristics of a tropical system, you can see it's trying to right in there, it won't come for us. So it's no threat to Florida, it's no threat to the U.S., and it's no threat to Bermuda. Talk about perfect, right? Exactly. So all it's going to do is head northeastward. So it basically only has about a 24-hour window of developing if it can. That's essentially Friday, because by Friday night into Saturday, this big cold front that you see located right back in here, see it right there? See that push of drier air coming in from the west? That cold front is going to come roaring off the eastern seaboard and push whatever you want to call that, low pressure, tropical low, whatever. It's going to push it off to the east very fast. All right, our Ramjack Foundation repair camera time lapse today. There you go. A few patchy clouds yet again, though. See how there isn't a lot of vertical development with those clouds? See how thin they are? Perfect example right there of the difference between summer rainy season and our dry season. There's just not enough moisture in the atmosphere to get that cloud to grow upwards, so no showers. Plus, this is a sign right there that there's a lot of dry air in the mid-levels of our atmosphere. Ackerman Jewelers Skycam time lapse, same thing. Notice how today, a few patchy clouds, and then headed into this evening, they were headed out towards the Gulf with clearing skies. All right, this is a dew point forecast map. So watch how the dew points go from the 60s right now to all of a sudden, look at this, they really start to drop off tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. That's your cold front. So on Saturday, dew points in the 30s and 40s. Wow, that's a big shock compared to where we've been for the past few months. It'll definitely be the coolest air mass, the driest, less humid air mass we have seen since last spring. All right, low temperatures tonight, though. About the same as past couple of nights. Not a lot of variation. Low to mid 60s, Citrus, Hernando, and Pasco County. Polk County, you're looking at lows right at about the mid 60s. In Manatee County, not much different. East of I-75, mid 60s. West of I-75, more like low 70s, though closer to the water. As is always the case, warmer water temperatures closer to, or warmer air temperatures closer to the water. There you can see if you're downtown Tampa about 69, inland suburbs more like mid 60s. All right, so 7-day forecast for you. Friday, highs in the 80s. Only a tiny chance of a shower because there's not going to be a lot of moisture with this front. Then look at this. A beautiful, beautiful weekend ahead. Talk about perfect timing. This is going to be gorgeous, folks. Sunny skies, breezy for Saturday. So if you're trying to do any boating, Sunday's probably the better day, but definitely breezy. That's probably about the only negative, though. The lows at night, they're going to drop all the way down into the 50s. So it's going to be downright cool in many locations for Saturday night, Sunday night, and even Monday night. Some spots in northern counties even dropping all the way down into the upper 40s. All right, here's your pollen forecast for the next 3 days. This is brought to you by Famous State Appliance and Bedding Centers. Now another look at Klystron 9.
Television radar.
Here we are at the bottom of the hour. Thanks for joining us here at Bay News 9 on this Thursday evening. Not a lot going on out there tonight. Mostly clear, comfortable, lows in the 60s inland, low 70s closer to the coast. Tomorrow, really not much different than the past couple of days. The only difference is it's going to start to turn a little bit breezier, especially by tomorrow afternoon. Still warm, though, and the water temperature's still warm. This weekend, quite a bit different, though. We'll talk more about it.
Powerful television radar.
Hey, the time's now 9:39 on this Thursday evening. Low pressure to the east of the Bahamas, the cold front to the west of us out in the Plain States. All, well, it's out there. But the good news is it's all positive for us for this weekend. All right, let's start with the low east of the Bahamas. It's not really developing, but it has a better swirl than it did yesterday. It's very evident. There it is out there. It only has about a 24-hour window if it's going to develop into something tropical, and I don't think it will, but even if it did, doesn't matter, and here's why. The cold front's already showing up on the map. There it is right back there. And as that moves east, it's going to push whatever this ends up being off to the east. So again, I don't think it's going to develop. I've been saying that all week long, but even if it does, has nothing to do with our weather. The cold front, on the other hand, it does. Had a few sprinkles out there down in the southern part of the state, but nothing here locally, just too dry in the atmosphere. Might get a sprinkler shower with the front tomorrow, but the chances are very small. The front is mainly going to be a dry front. The atmosphere, again, just doesn't have a lot of moisture. There you can see in St. Pete tonight, hey, great sunset shot. Thanks to Matt for saying that in our Bay News 9 Plus app. Temperatures right now are comfortable. Low 70s inland, even some upper 60s Inverness to Brooksville, the typical cooler spots. And as is usually the case, a little warmer closer to those warmer water temperatures. In downtown St. Pete, still sitting at 80. So a little bubble of warm air here in the southeast, but look back here on the backside of the front, down to 50 in Kansas City, 56 in St. Louis. So the cooler air is rushing southeastward. It will arrive here, I'd say, Saturday morning. Yes, the front will technically come through tomorrow night, but you won't really feel the biggest impacts until Saturday morning. All right, so mostly clear, comfortable out there for tonight. Not much going on. 60s for lows inland and low 70s if you're closer to the coast. For tomorrow, not really much different than the past couple of days. A little bit more cloud cover, a stray sprinkle possible, high temperatures a degree or two lower, low to mid 80s, but nothing drastic. The front, you can see, will produce a lot of rain up in the Appalachian Mountains and Northeast, but again, not on the southern end down here locally. On the back side, the main storyline is just how it's cooling down the whole country. This is what's impressive. It is essentially a front that cooled down the entire United States other than maybe like southwestern Arizona. I mean, other than that, though, seriously, it's a really strong front. We'll talk more about that in the 7-day forecast and have your tropical update coming up at 9:49. Well, we've had beautiful weather conditions the past couple of days. We will talk more about that and the cold front on the way, but it's that time of the hour when we start things off with your tropical update, as we always do here at Bay News 9 this time of the hour. So what's going on? Well, the Gulf and the Caribbean are quiet, and let's be honest, here in Florida, that's what's most important for us, especially on this side of the state. We tend to, this late in the season, really concentrate on these areas, because if something were to develop here, it could come right at us. That's not the case. Instead, this area of low pressure right out in here, it's trying to kind of develop, but it's not going to have much of a chance. And here's why. You see this line of clouds right back here coming across the country? That's a cold front. It's a strong cold front. So no matter what happens with this low, you can kind of see it's trying to get to develop. There it is. See a little circulation. I don't think it's going to have time. Even if it does develop, though, here's what it's going to do. It's going to head off to the northeast. It's not going to be a threat to the U.S., definitely not to Florida, not even to Bermuda. So all this is really good news. Essentially, all it's going to do is sit out there, spin. It might develop tomorrow, but that's it. That's its window, tomorrow, Friday. If it doesn't, no matter what, here comes the front, and it shoves it off to the northeast. And look at that front, going all the way down to Cuba by Saturday. So this is the front we've been advertising all week long, and it's going to have a big impact on our local forecast. Dimmitt Chevrolet camera time lapse today. Watch this. Just a few patchy little clouds zip on by. That's it. Beautiful, beautiful sunset out there for tonight. And as you can see on our FBC mortgage camera from Pine Island, same thing, just a few little patchy clouds. Too dry in the atmosphere this time of year to get those big showers and storms like we get in our rainy season. So we end up with really nice conditions, and this is why we love Florida this time of year. It's less humid, it's more comfortable, you don't have to worry about those big thunderstorms. All right, watch the dew point map. All right, dew point's in the 60s, right? Look at this. Here comes the front, and you can see a big, big difference. Look at those dew points dropping off dramatically tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. You're going to see a huge, huge difference. When those dew points drop into the 30s and 40s, that is a really, really dry air mass. So with the front coming through, now it won't technically come through until tomorrow night, so you're not going to notice any real big change until Saturday morning. There probably won't be enough moisture for much in the way of showers, but I put in a tiny little chance of maybe a sprinkler shower as it passes. Strong northwest wind on the back side, so it will affect boating, but not until tomorrow night into Saturday morning. So therefore, most of tomorrow should be fine for boating. Northwest wind about 10 knots, going up to 15 knots. It will turn breezy late tomorrow into tomorrow night. All right, 7-day forecast for you. Look at this. After highs in the 80s again tomorrow, cold front comes through. What a difference. Highs only in the 70s for this weekend. Perfect weather. Sunny skies, a little breezy, but lows, ooh, downright cool for our area. 50s and some 40s in northern counties. So there's your latest 7-day forecast. Now the latest on Klystron 9.